Live. Okay, how's it going, everyone? My name is Thabet here from MotivateMe313, and just wanted to got the thumbs up from my wife, so she gave me the thumbs up like we are good to go. Again, my name is Thabet from MotivateMe313, and as you can see, we have another wonderful, strong woman panel here with us today. I cannot wait to hear what all these ladies have to say. But before I even get into that, I just want to first send my condolences out there to the family of Mr. Marvin, the Mims family, and for those that everyone else that got struck yesterday, last night. It's a tragic incident. I'm not gonna get into too much details, but I just want to send my condolences out there to Rosalind and the father and the whole family. We are very sorry for your loss, and we are definitely hurt. And I could not do this show unless I mentioned it, because it's definitely something that shocked us, shocked the whole community. The Hanley, the Traming Public Schools. I'm sure everybody is in shock right now. So I just want to first of all send my condolences out there to the whole families. Everyone that was a victim of the shooting last night. We will be discussing more about what we can do to support the family later on this week. So be tuned. Be sure to tune in for that and be ready for that. But with that said, again, my name is Thabet from MotivateMe313. Today we are here to discuss these amazing business owners here, unique business owners that is, and they are going to introduce what it is that they do. And just before we went live, I was just telling them how impactful it is, and I'm so glad that they all agreed to do this discussion, because it's very important, and I want them to understand that they are trendsetters, and they are making a move with or without them knowing that they're doing it, but they are definitely making it happen. So with that said, I am going to now introduce one by one, and then they're going to get into more details about what they do. We are going to start off with Lamis Mohamed. I know if people are on Facebook, I don't know if you can see her, but she is here, and she is the owner of SkinByMiso. So I just want to introduce Lamis Mohamed. So Lamis, you want to introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and then also tell us what is SkinByMiso.
Yes. Hi everybody, my name is Lamis Mohamed, known as Miso. A lot of people know me by that because my business name is SkinByMiso, so Miso is my nickname. I'm Yemeni and I'm 23 years old. I started my business back in 2020, right when COVID hit. It was kind of difficult for me just because COVID happened, and I was like, all right, well, this probably not going to work out, and this is such a bummer. Maybe it was a waste of time. But it was pretty shocking. It actually literally went skyrocket. And by the time it was June, I believe, because COVID hit in March. So June hit, and I decided to work at a salon. I worked there for a month, and then I decided to kind of quit and just do my own thing, just because I would rather focus on my clients one-on-one rather than just kind of just working and then get them out the door, So I was like, you know what, maybe it's time to be different and kind of be my own boss and just start something. Had no idea where it was going to go, but it went through. So alhamdulillah, I now own my own business. I'm all about skincare, making everybody confident in their own skin. I treat acne, so that's kind of my main focus is acne. And alhamdulillah, I now have my own fleet. I was working from home, but it was my clientele grew dramatically all of a sudden. I had no idea how it happened, but it worked. And it was just time for me to come out of the house and just do my own thing. So now I have my own suite, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, and I can tell you when a good person does something and something unique, it tends to bring success. So alhamdulillah for everything. Congratulations, and thank you again for doing this. Next to Lamis, we have Miss Laila Mahdi. By the way, Laila is the sister of Rashid Mahdi. For those of you that are familiar with this show, Rashid has been on it a couple times. I also put Rashid in my top 5 role models, by the way. Intisar, wanted to share that with you as well. Great guy. But Laila, you are in the building today, so can you tell us about what is the Social Loft and about yourself as well?
Sure. Assalamu alaikum. So my name is Laila Mahdi, and I am born and raised in Detroit. I actually went to an Islamic school, Al-Aqas Training Academy in Hamtramck all my life. I have a bachelor's in social work, And along with my two other sisters, Aaliyah and Mahdi, we decided to open the Social Loft. It's really something that's kind of been in the making for years. We've done a lot of different events in the community, and so we've always just wanted a space for women and children to kind of come. Just because, for women, especially being Muslim, we sometimes just need our own space. So we opened the Social Loft, and it kind of basically it promotes in the areas of wellness, health. We do different classes. We're about to gear up to do some of our fitness classes. We do classes for kids. So we're about to get our summer series going, inshallah. But yeah, it's just been something we wanted to do, and we kind of just jumped out there, and we're just, trying to do it. So alhamdulillah, Allah made a way for us to be able to open the brick and mortar, which is hard, but alhamdulillah, we're just kind of taking it one day and one step at a time, and inshallah, it'll be something that continues to be a benefit to the community, inshallah.
Inshallah, alhamdulillah. Laila, if you don't mind me asking, what has been so far like the biggest booking that you guys have had at the Social Loft?
You said the biggest, say one more time?
The thing that has been, you guys have been booked for the most, like has it been for like working out, for education purposes?
So we actually, along with doing classes and doing different events, we actually rent the space to different tenants. So we have someone, I'm going to give them a shout out because they're amazing. And they basically pay monthly to be here. So we got tutoring by Nikita. She does tutoring. We have Medina, the skin therapist. She's an esthetician. She's amazing. We have hair braiding going on. We have a sister, Habiba. She does the hair braiding for the kids. So right now, that's actually been our biggest thing because monthly we know, that they're going to be here and it brings in that revenue. But we're finally we've gotten a lot of our gym equipment. And so we're inshallah going to get more, but we're able to kind of get the fitness going on. So inshallah, you'll be able to be a member where you can come, Monday through Sunday. And women can just come and work out at their own time, at their own leisure. So inshallah, we anticipate that being, something really good and something really big for us, inshallah.
Inshallah, thank you for sharing that. And next up, I got big sis in the building, Abeer Thabet. I'm gonna dish it out to the sister here. She is the owner of Pic-A-Date. So Abeer, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and also tell us what Pic-A-Date is all about.
Hey, so my name is Abeer Thabet. I'm a full-time teacher, full-time mom, and last year I graduated from school and I had a lot of time on my hands, and I'm someone that loves to be busy. I cannot have time on my hands, and I love being creative. My family, whenever there's a party, they're like, hey, I have a party coming up, what can we do? And I'm like, listen, we're gonna do this and this and this, and I've always loved showing my creative side. So during COVID, just like everybody else, I was on TikTok. And I saw this business called Picnic and Chill in California. And I was like, I can do that, but would people buy it or would people do it here in Michigan? It was cold. So I'll get more into that. But basically, I own a luxury picnic business, indoor or outdoor. And along with the picnic decor, you receive an activity that you can do together with whoever you're with. And we can go up to 30 people. So yeah, basically that's what it is. The luxury picnic business.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing, sis, and I'm sure you'll get more into details about what it is that you do. Next to my sister is Humayra. We got Humayra. She is the owner of Boubi Skincare, and so she's going to tell us more about Boubi and what she does exactly. So, Humayra, you want to introduce yourself and tell us more about your company?
Yeah, hi, I'm Humayra Bobby, and I'm the founder of Boubi Skin. I was born in Bangladesh, but I was raised in Hamtramck all my life. I went to Hamtramck public schools. I actually know Omar's wife, and that's how we got into this. So my business started in 2019. It actually started when I was in college, and there was a lack of clean skincare products. So I have a background in chemistry. So I kind of, formulated my own products that really helped me. And from that, I kind of became a business in 2019. And it just focuses on clean ingredients, simple ingredients that really help the skin. So, yeah.
I just want to let you know, Humayra, that my wife has put your products on my face so many times. Like, she always tells me, trust me, this is gonna work, and then she'll start doing it, and I'm like, okay, so this is my friend's product, you know, so just want to let you know, thank you for that, so I appreciate
I'll
that.
vouch as well. I
Yeah.
use your
Oh,
I use it so much.
hilarious.
And then last but certainly not least is we have Intisar Bashir with us. Intisar is, just to introduce her, is the co-owner of Browndages, but when I spoke to Rashid, he said that she is the lady in charge. She's the one that deserves all the credit. She is the head honcho. So Intisar, thank you for doing this. Can you tell us about yourself and tell us what Browndages is all about?
Sure. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Intisar Bashir. I'm born and raised Columbus, Ohio. Our business, as you said, is Browndages. It's a bandage company that has inclusive called skin tone bandages. Excuse me. So it's like a flesh tone inclusive bandage line. So we have, I don't know if most people knew growing up that bandages were supposed to be flesh tone, but I didn't know growing up. And once Rashid and I figured that out, and we realized that the bandages that we were buying in stores were not matching, the tone of flesh that was in our household, let alone many of the households that we were familiar with, we decided to launch Browndages. We have, our flesh tone bandages, and then we also have our kids line that has images of children and professions that they can aspire to.
That is awesome. And what Intisar might not mention, and I knew she wouldn't mention it, but I'm definitely gonna have to throw it out there. So you've gotten shout outs from some couple famous people, if I'm correct, and one of them goes by the nickname of Queen Bee. If I'm right, is that Beyonce? And I heard Lupe Nyong'o, if I said her name correctly. I hope I didn't mispronounce her name. You got shout outs from both of those superstars. Is that true?
Yes, alhamdulillah. We've been fortunate in the support that we've gotten from many people, whether they're as big as Beyonce or as little as, my mom down the street. So alhamdulillah, we've been fortunate in the support that we've gotten from the public, yes.
Alhamdulillah. So thank you for sharing that. And for those of you, the ladies introduced their business, but now we're about to go into detail about what made them go into their business and stuff like that. So now, Laila, I'm gonna move the question now to you. You'll be the first one to answer this next question. So what made you want to get into the social loft and the idea of it?
So like I said before, me and my sisters, we've always just done different event planning, particularly though event planning in the community. And so it's just really become a passion of ours. I'm just a strong believer that, especially for women and children, that I guess living in today's society, sometimes we kind of get on the youth about, the youth, they're into this or they're into that, or they're always on social media all day. So from that, I just feel like, well, if we want them to do something, then we need to provide that opportunity or provide that platform. And then for women, we're mothers, we're wives, we take care of our families, but sometimes, you just need a space to get away where it's just for you. And so with the social loft, that was just really the goal, to create a space where women could go and they could focus on their businesses, they could focus on their wellness, on their health. They can bring the kids on designated days for different things, but we really just wanted to make it more so inclusive to them. And when we looked around, there weren't really any spaces like that. You can go to maybe an all-women's gym, and that's great. But to be able to go to a place that has all of these things that we, day to day dealing with our businesses or dealing with health or our children, we just thought it would be really cool to create a space like that, for women that kind of encompasses all of those things. So that was really the motivation for it, I would say.
Awesome. And I just want to say, you're getting shout outs from a lot of ladies. Everybody is queens, I realize women support women a lot more than I feel like men support men. I don't know if this is true or not. I need to know if that's a fact or a fiction, because there's a lot of a lot of women right now cheering y'all on right now. But usually, if I don't have any women on, these people ain't watching Motivate Me 313. So thank you for doing this, by the way. But yeah, I getting shout outs. Oh no!
And can I say one thing?
Yes.
Can I say one thing, Omar? Because I would be remiss if I did not mention this. So when we got started, the amount of support and the amount of people that donated just to be able for us to get up and running, it was really, really humbling. So I just want to give a shout out to everyone who donated, everyone who came and volunteered to help us get the building up and running, because really, really, like, without them, we probably could not have gotten it done. And so I'm just super appreciative and super grateful that our community kind of put us on their back and were able to get us up and running. So
awesome. Thank you so much, Laila. Big sis, I'm just going to keep the rotation going that way. So it's on you now. So what made you want to start Pic-A-Date?
Okay, so like I was saying before, I enjoy being creative. I love paying attention to detail. And when I seen Picnic and Chill in California, I was like, I can do this. This is so unique and so different. And so I was like, okay, I'll start with my family. So my brother's birthday was on January 5th, and that was my first ever picnic. And so I was that person that buys a bunch of stuff anyways. Like I have a bunch of games, I have a bunch of activities, family gatherings. I'm the one that brings and lugs in and tells like, this is what we're doing today. But so anyways, I started off with him. I ended up asking him, like, how was it? Did you like it? He was like, I loved it. He's like, I would do this. He's like, this is it. He's like, I enjoyed every part of it. So, okay. So I had more of my family try it, and that's how I built my inventory. And then people started seeing it. I started showing, like, kind of, introducing it to Instagram. And, from there, it kind of blew. Started off with 2 people. Now, like I said before, it's up to 30 people. And it helps me build a connection with the client. I think like that's just seeing them surprised or seeing them really happy about how it turned out just gives me that satisfaction. And I just love seeing people get together, my vision come together, whether it's the kids' neurons coming together and clicking when they're learning a new lesson or a picnic, honestly. So that's my thing. And then to get paid for it, to do something that you really love, it just, brings it all together.
There you go. Thank you so much. Humayra, I'm going to pass it on to you now. Can you tell us what made you want to open up Boubi Skin?
Yeah, absolutely. So it first started about 6-7 years ago when I started college. I moved away from home, so it was like a big change for me, and I think that really took an impact on my skin. So I had a lot of cystic acne all over. So I went to drugstore products, obviously being a college student, you don't have all that money. So I went to CVS and tried to get some products, and they were really harsh on my skin. They didn't really work out. So then I saved up some money, went to Sephora and, got some high-end products, and that really didn't work out either. And I'm like, wow, I'm spending all this money and it's not even helping out my skin. So then with my background in chemistry, I did a lot of research as well. I kind of just formulated my first product, which is my bestseller right now, which is my toner. And I've been using it ever since, and it really got rid of all my acne and hyperpigmentation. And I've been using it for, I think, 8 years now. So in 2019, my fiance at the time was like, hey, why don't you just start selling this stuff? And me with no background in business at all, I was like, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. How am I supposed to start a business? And at that time, I had a lot of cousins that were in the 13, 14-year-old range going through puberty, having skin issues themselves. So then I gave out samples to like my friends and family, and they really loved it, had really great support from that. And I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. Maybe people will enjoy it. So that's when I first started selling my toners, and that's kind of how it came about. And back then, 6 years ago, it was very hard to find a lot of clean skincare lines. But right now, it's a lot more accessible. But back then, it was very hard for me to find something that actually worked, was clean and affordable. Because I know that no one wants to spend $60 to have like nice skin, and you shouldn't have to. So there was a lack in that I saw. So I wanted to produce affordable, clean skincare line. So that's kind of how Boubi Skin started.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Humayra. Intisar, I'm going to pass it to you. What made you and Rashid, I know you kind of touched on it, but maybe go into more detail about what made you want to open up Browndages?
Well, to start off, I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I've always had a desire to have a business of my own, particularly Browndages. It was really once Rashid and I realized that bandages were supposed to be flesh tone and they didn't match our flesh. So we were just like pretty perplexed. And when we did a little bit of research, we didn't find anyone out there producing bandages to match the multiple shades of, brown that come in our family, let alone, across the world. So that was really our motivation. Just seeing that there was not a product out there on the market to meet our needs. So we decided to produce that.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And we're going to get more into detail about the steps that it took for you to do that too, because I'm really interested to find out what does it take to do that. So thank you, Intisar. And then last but not least, we're going to go with the person that we started with before, which is now Lamis. Lamis, what made you start SkinByMiso?
Well, I wanted to be different. So I was in college and I was going for radiology, and then I was mixing it up with like different things. I wanted to be a teacher, and then I wanted to be like a respiratory therapist. And then I just felt like I just was doing all these classes for nothing. I didn't really feel a passion for it. So I started brainstorming and stuff. And I also do get my inspiration from my mom. My mom's a cosmetologist. So she kind of pushed me a little bit and was like, hey, why don't you go into cosmetology? And I was like, nah, I might want something like that, but maybe like different. So I started looking into it and I found aesthetics, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm like, skincare is very different. And there's not really a lot of like Yemeni women who are even into like aesthetics. So I was like, I know it's gonna be a bit difficult because I'm probably gonna be the first and it's probably gonna be really hard, but I'm like, why not just jump into it and see where it takes me? So I went to beauty school, and it was like a 4-month program. And honestly, the lack of motivation I had when I was taking college classes was so different than the motivation I had when I was going to beauty school. I was waking up every day and I was just like excited to go to school because I started falling in love with the actual program. And I was like, wow, like I'm really passionate now. Like in the beginning I was afraid, but as soon as I was going day after day, I was like, I know this is gonna work. So as my slogan says, manifest in healthy skin, I was like, I'm gonna manifest in this. This is gonna happen, and I know it's gonna work, and I don't care what anybody tells me. So and honestly, I've had so many people tell me it wasn't gonna work and that I wasn't gonna make it. And that's kind of also what pushed me to keep going. So I took it, and like I told you guys before, I started in COVID. And I was a bit like unmotivated because when COVID hit, I was like, well, you know what? It is not gonna work. Everybody was right, blah, blah, and then like I saw everybody just really be consistent and don't give up because it will take you a long way. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be consistent. I'm gonna continue and I'm gonna just see where it goes. And alhamdulillah, you guys, I am now like really successful, and it turned out way better than I thought it would. So that's kind of what made me go into it, to be honest, and it worked out.
Alhamdulillah, that is amazing, and I'm starting to see a trend from each and every one of you ladies, and that is being passionate about what you do will drive you into pursuing a business. Like I'm starting to realize that if you're passionate about something and if you could somehow turn it into a business, then you should definitely go after it. That's the trend that I'm starting to get from each and every one of you. But I will be now moving on to the next question, which I think Lamis was talking about managing. So that's the next question that we are going to discuss. And so I'm going to start off with you, big sis, because I know you personally, that you have a son and you go to work. So now you're starting this business, and everybody's life might be different. Everybody's situation might be different. But how do you manage everything with life while maintaining and owning a business? So how does that work? You don't see friends, you don't see family, because I haven't seen you in a while, big sis, and I miss you. I miss you, sis.
Honestly, I am still working on that. It's a process. So when I first started, I thought going into it, I'm like, maybe 2 or 3 pickets a month. Like that's what I was, and I was like, that's perfect. I'm working anyways. Like this is just for me to like express my creativity. And then it kind of blew up, and I'm like, okay, I can handle this. Like you're talking to yourself. It's okay. I'm gonna stay organized. I'm gonna make a form. I'm gonna send it. You're going with the flow. And then I'm like, okay, I can't do this. So I started telling my cousin, Sumaya, shout out to Sumaya. She's like a kind of right-hand man for me. She started helping me as well. But thank God, alhamdulillah, tomorrow will be my last day at work. as a teacher, and we're in summer break, so I'll be able to manage a little bit more and be able to see my family. Because honestly, I'm like in and out, like literally either picking up or setting up or organizing the garage. My house is a storage, literally is a storage. I can't even tell you how many pillows I have. But basically, you just have to always say this: proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you prepare, everything will be okay. So there's checklists, just everything has to be organized. When I return from a picnic, everything has to go back to their spot. And it's just, you just literally have to keep a schedule. I have a calendar that I share with my cousin. You just have to stay organized and on top of it. But hopefully things will get a lot more easier and I'll be able to manage a lot better now that, I'll be full-time focusing on Pic-A-Date during the summer. So.
Awesome. Yeah. There you go. Humayra, I know if I heard correctly, said you had a fiance. I think you're married now. So how is it being married and doing your own business, and how's that all going?
Yeah, so when you first get married, there's all these events like you have to go to, like family members and, vacations and all that. But I'm really big on self-care. And I think the biggest thing that's helped me with everything is always taking time out for myself, like having that alone time, because I'm a person who needs to regroup, like come back to myself and like plan things. And so I'm really big on that. So I think like taking breaks and taking time for myself has really helped me, because if I'm not like okay with myself, then I can't be 100% for my business or for my family or anything like that. So I think, like just even doing my skincare every night is like my me time. So that's my self-care moment, doing my skincare every night, having that time with myself and just regrouping and just kind of, just winding down. I think just taking breaks for yourself is so important so you can be 100% in every other aspect of your life. So that's really big for me.
That's the great advice. I think that's such important advice for anything that anybody's doing, is also managing your own me time and personal time. So thank you for sharing that. Intisar, being the wife of Rashid is already a job of itself. I don't know how do you do it, but having the kids and everything, in all seriousness, now Rashid is a great guy. I already know that, but I'm sure you know that too. How do you manage everything, Intisar, with also running Browndages?
I don't know. But alhamdulillah, it all works itself out. Like she said, if you're passionate about what you're doing, if you believe in your business, if it's something that you actually desire to push and move forward, like you'll make the time for it. So sometimes, I could be sleeping at night once all the kids are sleeping and stuff like that. But I'm like, no, like I have the desire to grow our business. So I'll stay up late, and do what I need to do to move us towards the next step it is that we're trying to, get to. So it's not always easy, but if it's something that you're really passionate about or into or like you believe in, then you'll find the time to make it work outside of your other responsibilities, be it a husband, be it the children, be it a full-time job. So.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to Lamis now. Lamis, you starting off a business at such a young age, and I'm sure you were telling me that you still want to pursue more school. So how are you managing everything with life while maintaining and owning a business?
So I'm still in the process of it. It's still a bit difficult, especially because I work alone. I don't have a partner or like an assistant or anything. So my biggest struggle is managing my time and managing all of that. Like Intisar said, if you're passionate and you really want your business to grow and to actually work, you are going to make the time for it. So, I used to take clients 8 a.m. and I would not sleep till 4 a.m. because I was busy either fixing my content or, rescheduling people's appointments, So like she said, if you're really, really passionate, you are going to make that time to work, even if you are lacking sleep. So I'm still trying to figure out, just like you, Abeer, I know it's a struggle still. I'm still trying to figure out how to kind of manage my time and kind of balance everything, especially now it's kind of, getting a little bit harder because I am prepping for my wedding. So it's a little bit of a juggle. But alhamdulillah, it's actually working. And if you just tawakkul and, with Allah, like, He pretty much will set everything straight for you if you believe in everything.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for sharing that. And then Laila, same question for you. How do you manage everything in life while maintaining and owning a business?
So alhamdulillah, with it being 3 of us, we kind of just, we found that that delegating responsibilities, each person has kind of different role, whether it's, okay, you're answering emails, I'll book the, I'll do the classes, whatever the case may be. That's been helpful for us. It's still really difficult. I work a full-time job. I have 3 kids. They were just on virtual schooling. Thank God that's out. My sisters, they both own their other businesses outside of the social lofts. So it is hectic. And I think we're still trying to figure the best way to manage it. But one of the things we found is utilizing different resources around us. So even if it's, maybe asking people who may want to volunteer, and giving them something in return, or, paying someone to do a particular job that you maybe just don't have the time to do. Just like I said, utilizing resources just to make it, just a little easier, or to free up some time. So, yeah.
That's I'm hearing being patient and just being persistent is what I'm getting. And sleep, no sleep. I'm hearing sleep is the one thing that has to go out the door if with all this going on. So thank you for sharing that, and I'm learning, and I'm loving what I'm hearing. So thank you all. Keep up the great work. So I'm gonna move on to the next question. To you now, Humayra. I'm gonna let you start this one off. What has been the hardest part of running your business? Everybody, I'm sure people see the outside, they say, oh my God, everybody's doing so great, it's doing such a, she's doing such an amazing job, but obviously they don't know the full story sometimes. So what has been the toughest or the hardest part?
For me, kind of bouncing on what Laila was saying, it was to admit that I need to delegate some tasks. Because in the beginning, I was my own photographer. I formulate all the products myself. I have a lab in my basement where I make all the products. I do all the marketing, all the taxes and back-end things of business and stuff. I was doing all of that in the beginning, and it was getting very overwhelming, where I couldn't even take some pop-ups and stuff because I was just busy doing other things. So to admit to myself, hey, you need to delegate some tasks, that was kind of really big for me, because I'm kind of a control freak. I want to do everything myself just so I know that it's perfect. But to kind of realize that it does take a team to kind of run a business as well. So my husband, who's in finance, I give him all the, accounting stuff. He can take care of all of that. And then I actually hired a photographer for all of my marketing needs. I hired someone to do all my labels and stuff. And ever since that, it's gotten a lot easier. But that was definitely the hardest part, kind of letting go a part of your baby to other people. I think that was the hardest part for me.
There you go. Intisar, same question for you. What has been the toughest or hardest part of running your business?
The toughest or hardest part of running our business is just, I think the same sentiment is just juggling it all, and getting to the point where you have to relinquish certain tasks. The first year or two where she was doing the business taxes, and then after that we were like, you know what, let's play a CPA, because that's not either of our strong suit. We also get to the point we are hiring out, all of our graphic design needs and stuff like that, because that is not either of our forte. So it's just knowing your limits and being able to pass those tasks that don't fall under, your area of expertise, or into somebody that does do it well. Just so, getting to that point and knowing that, okay, even though I'm not doing it, it can still be done well by somebody else who, specializes in that area. So that was a point of, we had to get to that point of realizing that we can't do everything, especially if you're going to continue try to grow your business. Part of, being a good business owner is delegating tasks.
All right. I took that note just in case for future reference. Thank you for letting me know, Intisar. Lamis, passing it on to you. What has been the hardest part of running your business, Lamis?
I would say something similar to that too. Management is very hard for me because I am juggling around maybe 4 to 5 positions at once. So I'm running my social media, I'm running my marketing, I'm running, the messages back and forth with my clients, trying to get everybody scheduled. So many people are trying to get in, and it's so difficult for me to kind of get everybody in because I'm such a people pleaser. I really wish I'm able to just please everybody, and it's so hard for me to just like realize like, hey, you can't please everybody in this world, you know. So trying to get everybody in when I'm only one person is what's been really really hard for me. And I do get a lot of people going crazy and saying, hey, like you're not accepting, you know, clients and whatnot, new clients. And they don't really know that I am. It's just like I'm one person and it's so hard for me to just take everybody in. And I really wish I had more than two hands to do that. So management, honestly, running a million positions at once is what's been really difficult for me.
All right. Thank you so much, Lamis, for sharing. Laila, passing it to you. What has been the toughest or hardest part so far of running the social loft?
I would probably have to say just the startup process in general, just getting started. You know, we all kind of jumped out there in terms of like, okay, we're going to get and try to get an actual location. And so just realizing like all the paperwork and different licensing and you know, permits that you may need, zoning, you know, depending on what you're doing. That was just something it was just kind of foreign to us. So that would be the hardest. Shout out to the city of Hamtramck because they made that process a little easy for us, or very easy rather. It was, you know, pretty seamless. You know, they were very helpful in terms of answering our questions, but definitely that would have been the hardest part for us so far.
Awesome. And what do you, when you say startup, for someone that's not familiar with that, like what do you mean by startup? Like, can you give us just a couple examples of some things that you were worried about or you kind of had trouble with?
So just even in terms of, okay, so we want to get in this building, well, you have to make sure, is this particular location, is it zoned for what we're trying to do? So you have to submit applications and you have to wait for, you know, to get approved before you can even get the license to do certain things, because some areas just aren't zoned for certain things. So like I said, a lot of that we just didn't know, and then started money. You know, just the amount of money that it may take to actually get the business going. You know, I think Abeer said she has started, you know, doing different events, and that's how she started building her inventory when she did it for her families. But yeah, just acquiring things inside of the business to make it look like, okay, this is an actual business, and now what else do we need? You know, so yeah.
Are you there right now, by the way, Laila? Are you at the social loft right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah. So all this stuff that you kind of see on the walls and furniture and plants and things like that, you know, it all costs. And of course, we did want it to be a space that was, you know, like when you come into it, it's really nice and it has a feel and it just makes you want to be there. So we definitely put our all into every piece that's here, you know, but alhamdulillah, we made it work.
That sounds great. And then big sis, I'm gonna pass it on to you. So what has been the hardest or toughest part about running your business?
Honestly, it's crazy, but I feel like I can relate to each one of you in some aspect. Humayra, I don't like to delegate tasks. It's my baby. I want to make sure like I pay attention to the smallest detail. So I'm like, wait, if I tell someone that they can handle my Instagram, but what if they don't talk to the client? They don't know what I can do. And I'm like, wait, but the pictures, I like my angle. Like, it's just, there's so much to like handle. And then with Miso, I'm a people pleaser. When someone comes to me and they have a budget, I don't even know if I'm making a profit or not, honestly. Like, I'll fit to fit their budget because I want their vision to come true and I want them to be able to celebrate. So like, I need to work on that as well. And then the same thing, like everything costs, Laila, like in the logistics and just, I can relate to all of that. So long story short, management, I guess, to put it all under one umbrella. But yeah, and learning to say no. I can't say no. Even to like family, like there's certain things that my family asks me for and I'm like, I can do it. Or my team at work, I can do it. And I'm like, then I'm the one that's staying up late or running around doing errands for things that I could have let somebody else do, but I can do it, right? Because, you know, I don't know.
Yes.
But yeah, manage.
There you go.
No.
Awesome. Very, very important key points from everyone there. I hope everybody was listening. We even got people saying this is, yeah, we got Kamal saying yes, yes, yes. Everyone should get on this live. There you go. Like she is agreeing with everybody. Great information. My wife is saying are for starting a business. So there you go. So that you guys are getting shout outs right now for what it is that's being said. I am now going to dish it to Intisar to start off the next question. Actually, before I go to that next question, Intisar, I know I wanted to share. I was asking the ladies beforehand if this is a question that I did not have prepared, but I wanted to ask and see if it's okay. If you guys want to answer it, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But the question is, do you feel like being a woman in the business, in the owning of a business field, do you feel like you're at an advantage or at a disadvantage compared to like a man owning the business that you own? Do you feel like you're at an advantage or a disadvantage, or there's really no telling of if it's an advantage or a disadvantage?
I don't know if there's an advantage to it. I mean, there's advantages and there's disadvantages. I will say, like, I just recently went through the process of becoming a certified like minority-owned and women-owned business. And so that's an advantage of mine. We're now like designated by the government as a minority and a woman-owned business. And therefore, if the government, like there's certain funds set aside specifically for minority-owned and business-owned businesses. So that is an advantage that we have by being a majority woman-owned business, if you would say that, which we are saying. So that's an advantage. But I mean, in a whole nother different playing field, it might be a disadvantage for me to be a majority woman-owned business. I don't know. Like, I haven't necessarily come across any disadvantages or been put in any spaces where it didn't help me, or I shouldn't say it didn't help me, that it actually hurt us or anything like that. So I haven't come across anything. So to date, I would say it's worked in our favor.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Intisar. Lamis, same question for you. Do you feel like there is an advantage or a disadvantage being a woman business owner?
I would say it's a big advantage, being able to accomplish something and having that great feeling, knowing that you did something and you thought it wasn't going to work, but then it worked out. So I wouldn't say that there's any disadvantages, to be honest. It's all advantages. Everything is very positive. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, that's awesome. And especially the work I'm assuming that you do is more geared towards women, if I'm correct. Like, is that something that you feel like your client, I mean, I know all your clients are women, but for more so or not, do you feel like that women are typically the ones that are geared towards something that you enjoy, that you do, that your business?
Yeah, so the salon that I worked at was men and women, and I had a lot of clients who would reach out to me saying that they weren't able to come due to it being mixed and whatnot, and that their families or their husbands or whatever the case wasn't allowing them to come, but they were really desperate and coming in for a service. So that also does play a big role, being woman only and being at, well, I was working from home, but now that I'm at my studio and stuff, and that I'm alone, it's been really big for these women. They're able to come now. And I've had so many girls come in and say, I'm so happy you're doing this. I'm able to come. All these salons are mixed and I wasn't able to go, and I've been dying for this type of service and whatnot. So it's honestly really an advantage.
There you go. Took something and made it a positive. That's awesome. Laila, same question for you. Do you feel like there is an advantage or a disadvantage being a woman business owner?
I would say an advantage. Like Intisar said, and even Lamis, I haven't really came across any disadvantages. And we're newly open, so it's not to say we may not encounter some of that. But as of right now, I don't really see any disadvantages. Like Intisar said, there's certain money set aside for different minority businesses or women businesses. So and our primary target is women. We do on Sundays after our gym hours close, if someone were to rent out the small space for maybe like a dinner party. Men can actually be in the building, but that is only after our gym is closed and there's no, women in the building necessarily. So I can't really see any disadvantages thus far.
And I just want to let you know that great idea, by the way, the social loft, because it is something that our community definitely needed. So thank you for doing that. Abeer, I'm going to pass it to you now. Big sis, do you see it as an advantage or a disadvantage being a woman business owner?
I don't think there's a disadvantage at all. To be honest with you, it was seeing all of the younger females, I'm not going to say my age or whatever, but seeing all of the younger generation females starting businesses from their home, whether it's baking or decorating or whatever that they're doing, it really motivated me. And I really think this is the time for the woman in business, I'm here for it. So no, I honestly don't think there's any disadvantages. I think it's very empowering and yeah.
Awesome. Humayra, same question for you. Do you see it as an advantage or a disadvantage being a woman business owner?
Just bouncing off of what everyone else said, I haven't come across any personal setbacks, and I just think especially like the women in our community have been so uplifting, have been so inspired and motivating with all of our like small businesses that I think, I think it's been a real advantage. And there's so many women-owned businesses coming up within the last couple of years, even the whole U.S. and even like going even further, like Honest Beauty and all these like Bumble, like going public on IPO. Like it's just been amazing for women in business recently.
Thank you for sharing that. And so thank you all for answering that question. I wanted people to understand that it could almost be it was more positive that women are owning these businesses. So I wanted people to know, and that's why I wanted to address that question. But Intisar, I'm gonna let you answer this one too as well, since I added that question. That was an add-in. And this is the advice part. This is the part where if people are taking notes, this is the time to pull out that pencil and the notebook and get ready to take some notes. So, Intisar, what advice would you give if there is a woman out there that said, hey, I want to go into a business, or just even anybody, woman or man, what advice would you give them for those that are watching and listening?
Go for it. Like, don't let anybody stop you. If it's something that you think about often, like Laila said, it was something that her and her sisters thought about often. It's something they did already. Why not, push it forward, make it bigger, make it better, present it to, the broader community. I don't see any reason why you should not act on your dream or act on whatever passion that you have. No matter if there's other people doing the same exact thing that you're doing, like it's not going to be done the way that you want to do it. So don't let that be a deterrent to you starting or acting on your dream or on your passion and starting your business. Just go for it. Make dua and move forward. Like I don't think that you should sleep on yourself.
Awesome. That is great advice. I don't know if that was prepared or not, if that was written or not, but that was awesome. Intisar, Lamis, same question for you. What advice would you give someone who is looking to start a business?
Honestly, I would say don't give up. Keep going and be consistent because it will take you far. Just like Intisar said, just because other people are doing it does not mean, don't go and do it. So many people have told me, why are you not going to this? There's so many other people who are estheticians in Dearborn. And honestly, McDonald's and Burger King are right next to each other. Come on now, So don't ever look at it like it's competition. Everybody has their own spice in doing things. So, some people put salt on their rice and people don't, So honestly, just don't give up and just keep going. And I promise you, it will take you pretty far.
All right, I see what you did there. You advertised at McDonald's, so then you can take care of their skin. See, I see what you did there, Lamis. You did it, helped your business now by advertising another one. I'm just kidding, by the way. Laila, I'm passing it to you. What advice do you have for someone who is looking to start up a business?
Same thing, be consistent. There are days when you're just not going to want to do anything just because, you are always so busy, but just really pushing yourself to say, okay, I know there's a greater goal and I just kind of have to keep going. Definitely, like Intisar said, just kind of jump out there. There's never going to be I guess you could say like a right time, or there's always going to be something that may be like, oh, well, I have to wait until I get this, or oh, I don't have that. I mean, life is just always going to be happening. So you just kind of have to just jump out there and get started. So same thing that the other lady said for the most part.
Awesome. Abeer, same question for you. What advice do you have for someone who is looking to start up a business?
So doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. So just like the lady said before, if you're passionate about it, do it. Start it. Even if you fail, you'll learn something from it. From what I hear, we're all learning as we're going. None of us went into it knowing fully, hey, this is gonna work, and we know what we're doing. No, we found something that we're passionate about, and we put our hearts and souls in it, and it worked out. So at the end of the day, I'm also a huge believer of whatever blessings are meant for you will come to you, as long as you believe in Allah and what He is going to bestow on you. So if you have that in your mind that you're going to get whatever you deserve, and have faith in yourself, you're going to be able to progress in anything that you put your mind to.
All right, thank you, Abeer. I appreciate that. And Humayra, same question for you. What advice do you have for someone who is looking to start up a business?
Yeah, I would just say just go for it, have fun and find a solution for a niche problem that you have and be passionate about that, because that'll make your life a lot easier. Everyone who, supports you can see that you're passionate about something. So, go into something that you're super passionate about.
Thank you. So passion is also important. Aliyah Mahdi, I'm sure sister, Laila, if I'm correct, I don't know if she's sister, I'm just assuming. Just said shout out to all the women who are owning businesses. So she's giving a shout out to Aliyah. Is she one of the owners as well, Laila, from the Social Loft, or is she not?
Yes, no, she is. She's here with me. Right across.
All right, well, that's all right.
Yes,
Tell her thank you for sharing the video, by the way. I appreciate it, showing that she just shared. But before I let you do the final word, I just want to mention to everybody that's watching. So basically, we got a skincare treatment with Lamis. We got a skincare product with Humayra. We got the Social Loft with Laila. We got Browndages with Intisar. And then we got Pic-A-Date with Abeer. Just unique businesses that are, different. I didn't want to just get normal, I don't know what is normal, but basically, stuff that is all out there. So I wanted to find unique business owners. So this is all unique, and I feel so appreciative. So thank you, ladies, all for doing this. And now I'm going to do the final word, and we're going to start off back with you again, Lamis, back up top. And when you do this final word, anything you want to say, then also mention where people can follow you, or where they can find you, or how they can book you, or anything like that. This is your opportunity to almost advertise, and just throw in a final word in there for anybody that's watching. And again, thank you all. Before you do say this final word, I just want to thank all of you as well. So, Lamis, it's on you. Any final word, and how can people find you and book you and stuff like that?
Yes. So everything is on Instagram. I have a link in my bio that has multiple other links in it. So you can book your appointment there. You can see my services. You can see the prices. Everything's in detail. I want as depth as possible because it is very difficult for me to get back to my DMs. My DMs are crowded. So I know 100% you probably won't be able to get me within even 24 hours. So any type of questions, majority of the frequently asked questions is so all over my link. You can literally answer everything that you could possibly ask. And if there's anything that's not on that link, you can call me or text me. And so just follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is SkinByMiso. And hopefully I see you guys soon. It's a bit difficult to get an appointment with me, but somehow it can work. And my final word I would say is just really be, confident. Be confident in yourself and your business, and everything will go smoothly. And do not forget to wear your SPF.
There you go. Awesome. There you go. Thank you so much, Lamis. And Rashid, by the way, put www.browndages.com. He's already on top of it, Intisar. He is on top of it, Rashid. I gave you a shout out earlier, Rashid, but I'm not going to repeat it. You're going to have to watch it again if you just tuned in right now, Rashid. I can't give you too much compliments at once, Rashid. I just want to let you know. All right, Laila, I'm going to pass it on to you. Final word, please let us know how we can book the Social Loft, where we can find the Social Loft. So it's on you, Laila.
All right. So am I muted?
No, you're good.
So you can look at find us on Instagram. Is the_social loft. We are on Facebook also. The social loft. You can find us there. We are located in Hamtramck, 3002 Carpenter Street, Hamtramck, Michigan 48212. So our hours are between 8 a.m. To 8 p.m. So you can come up here and someone will be here. Yeah, and then other than that, thank you for allowing us to be on here. We're fairly new. We actually opened in February, so we're just still really trying to get out there. And we really want to get out there more so in Hamtramck, the community there. I just really appreciate you for, asking us to be on here. And I'm actually humbled because everybody on here, you guys are awesome. Haria, or Intisar, I call her Haria, is my sister-in-law. So Browndages is super inspiring. But I'm super excited to look up some of the other women on here and just kind of follow them and see what they're doing and see how we can link up.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laila. Abeer, I'm passing off to you now, big sis. Final word. How can people find Pic-A-Date? How can they book Pic-A-Date? So it's on you.
Okay, so I am on Instagram. My Instagram handle is pic, which is PIC, like picnic, _a_date. Actually, funny story, I came up with the name at Omar's dinner table. It was just like, hey, I know this name, and it's funny. But anyways, that is my Instagram. I'm expanding on different platforms. I want to be on Facebook and I want to have a website, but like I said, I'm finishing up school tomorrow and I'll be able to, build that. And basically, DM me, I'll send you a form, you fill out your form, and then I come up with your personalized price. I work with budgets, any style that you want. I like a challenge, so yeah, it's basically DM. Like I said before, I like connecting with other women. Yeah, that's basically it. And basically pick a date and leave the rest to me. That's my final word.
I want you to let people know the truth about the story about Pic-A-Date. Abeer, I heard that you were talking with the other sisters. You were trying to look for a man. You're like, let me pick a date with somebody. And then you're like, you know what? I'm just kidding. All right, big sis, got a teaser. Humayra, it's on you now. Can you give us a final word? Where can people find you? And how can people follow you and stuff like that?
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram. It's boubi.skin, Boubi Skin on Instagram. We're the same on Facebook. Our website is Boubi Skin. We do most of our orders through our website, but you can also shop us in person. And Hamtramck is the Conversation Detroit Salon. We have all of our products there. It's on Joseph Campo. We also do store pickup in a store in Hamtramck. You can also shop us at 12 Oaks at Dose Collective, Detroit at Dose Collective as well, right on Woodward. So we're available in a couple different shops. But yeah, my final word would be just to love the skin that you're in and have skin confidence and don't aim for perfection because you're beautiful.
There you go. Awesome. And Intisar, we're going to close it out with you. Any final word? Where can people find Browndages? I mean, I know it's browndages.com, but is there anywhere else people can follow? And any final word from you as well?
Yes, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Browndages on all platforms. Our website, like you said, is www.browndages.com. I'm grateful that you invited us on your platform. I know Rashid has, come a couple times, so I'm humbled that you asked for me. I was blessed to be on the platform with these other beautiful women. I pray that you all's businesses are all successful. I look forward to looking you all up and, patronizing you all. Inshallah, we are all continue to grow with our businesses.
Inshallah, there you go. Way to close us out there, Intisar. Rashid said I watched the entire thing. Another amazing show. You are the man, Rashid. Thank you so much. Ladies, thank you all for doing this. I tried to get you in an hour, and that's exactly where we're at. It's 8 o'clock exactly. So again, thank you. For those that are watching, follow these ladies. They are doing amazing things, and I'm sure we can do something else like this again. Even if you want to do it, we'll be more than happy to do it. I think my girls are coming downstairs. Come on, Amila, come say bye to everybody. Bye. Come here, let me say bye, and that's the perfect way we could And this is my daughter, because you are inspiration. Both daughters. We got both daughters here today right now. There you go. All right, you are inspiration, and these are my motivations. So you motivated me to reach out to all of you and do this. So thank you, ladies, for doing this. And I hope you all have a great rest of your days and a great...
Hey, home sitting right, man.
I know. I'm sorry. My wife just grabbed her. I'm sorry. Well, hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. And inshallah, continued success for each and every one of you, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
I mean, sorry.
Assalamu alaikum.